I get gunpointed, picked up. They wanted £250,000 from me. No one till today knows how Allah sent me from the North Circular Road to my office. Police could not even work out who.
Mahee Jalil, founder of Channel S and Prestige Auto Group.
My lifestyle is a roller coaster. The most controversial man. You only time you think when you are lying. Remember.
The media coverage about you about cash for crash.
Let me tell you, brother. So you need to do your study first.
Did you ever own a nightclub in your life?
No.
No?
No. I don't. So, the world is going to be 3 parts. Might be another 5 years. A lot of things are going to be corrected.
So the situation in Palestine.
I have a total different opinion than other people. I think this is the best thing happened.
So what I remember of my earliest memory is getting chased by a dog. That is, I think, when my brain started recording. So what do you remember from your life as the earliest memory?
I don't know. Let's start. So I came from Maulvi Bazaar. There is a village called Bahar Boshijura. Then when I started going to my primary schools, mum and dad said, no, let's go to Basha, which is in the town. So from there, I went to Maulvi Bazaar government school. So class 5, I got a BITHI, which means, you got a
scholarship or
distinctions. Mm-hmm. Then class 8, I got it. So I would say I was very good in maths, and I'm still good in maths. English is my third language, most probably, not even a second language.
What's your second language?
My father, I speak very good Urdu. So my father never wanted us to come to UK because he was always against the children to come to UK. And obviously my grandfather had to pressurize him, saying, right, he's becoming 16, it's going to be difficult, go and apply for it. So that's how I end up sort of a wrong age. I couldn't even do GCSE in the UK. So I had to do a 6th form GCSE, and I did not do well in English. I done good in maths, humanity, Bengali, and then so I had enough to carry on the A level. Then after the A level, I was not academic, so I decided to choose motor mechanic, and that's when I went for BTEC national diplomas, and I was fixing cars and repairing cars ever since that moved on. Then at a time, it was very hard, obviously. 5 of us in the family, and Dad was obviously done all the...
Is it still 1989, or we've moved on now to maybe 1990?
We came in, so it's 1992, that sort of things. I passed my driving test, I think 1991, June. So I passed my driving test. So we had to work in the evening and a weekend in a restaurant, obviously. But I decided to go for my independence. I decided to take a taxi insurance. In those days, there was no PCO, nothing, as long as you had a car. And in fact, I worked for a Jewish man in Cricolud, and he was my mentor. He said, look, you're such a brilliant guy. Why don't you go and finish your study in the university? So he pushed me. He became very close. And those days, there was a radio, and he would just say, Roger, number 17, and you were in business. And you go to the few pubs outside the pub, and you only work a couple of hours to pick up the drunks and alcoholics, those ones, and you drop them home. Go back to university in the morning, and that's the life started. 1995, I finished sort of things. Then I worked for AA Recovery for 1.5 years. And South Mims, I had a recovery. I used to fix people's cars on the street. And those days, the weather was not as good as what we see now. There used to be snow on the streets and everything else. But my base was for the AA is in South Mims. Then I decided to open my garage, which is 1996 in Amersham. Amersham is in Buckinghamshire, and I came up with a concept called no pass, no fee. I don't know if anybody ever started it before me, but I thought I was the first one. If your car don't pass the MOT, you don't pay me any money. God blessing, Allah's ni'amat was on me. Every Saturday I used to have a queue of 200, and I couldn't do with my time limits. So I put 4 rams, 5 rams, 3 rams. And I think 1997 I became a millionaire just from this. And ever since I moved on in my car business. So that is my cars. Then I got, as you know, I had a roller coaster lifestyle. My lifestyle is not steady. My lifestyle is a roller coaster.
Where does this roller coaster come from? Like, did your family recognize at a very early age that Mahee is gonna kind of have a roller coaster? Or like, for example, I see my son. He's almost like a hustler. You know, he wants his way around and he has to get his way around. What was it like for you? Were you one of those kids, who needed to get his way around?
No, I was very responsible. I had to look after the family. My father never worked since I started working, which is 1989. My father take a retirement from Golden Nugget Casino. My father never worked in an Indian restaurant, so he worked in the Golden Nugget Casino. He was in a kitchen. So I decided that I'm earning money. Why my dad should work? So I started funding the whole family. Also I was funding my younger brother educations. So Abdul. So I done my part. So you said to time back, there is not enough hours in your show to talk about times because I still work 18 hours a day. So when I was doing a taxi, I met someone who had a company called Help Hire. So he is the guy that's how I went to an accident management company. So I was in a taxi and I met a guy called Terry Vella. And Terry said, hold on a minute. I was talking to him. I was dropping him to Guildford. And he said, all right, you go to the Asian markets. You go and get the claims. We will process your claim. That's how I met that person. He's no longer in this planet, but he's the one then came in. So that's how I went to the car. Then I went to the leasing company. Most probably I still got the 5th or 6th largest leasing company on cars we have. We still got about 3,000 cars. We lease cars to Hertz, Enterprise. We lease cars to those people. So we buy cars from the manufacturer in a volume. So if I go and tell the manufacturer I want 1,000 Mercedes, they will give me 25% discount this month deal. Plus I then can claim the VAT. So when I said a roller coaster life, I see life differently. I does not see life because there are two types of people you find in this planet. One wants to do things and one don't want to do things. And I'm one of them that I want to do things in this planet because I'm not going to come back to this planet. Because when Allah says, whatever you want to do, go and do it. You're going to come back to me. So I'm going to go back to him, to my Lord. So therefore, I want to utilize the time that he gifted me, and I got it from him, so I want to use it for a better cause, create job for people, do donations, look after other people. If you can help someone, help it. If you can't help it, keep quiet, go and move, do something else. So the car leasing still exists. Obviously, claim management no longer exists. Insurer changed their way of things. Leasing is a fantastic business. It works, and that is my core business. Then you come back 1997, 98, I used to do something called Z-Max. We used to design people cars and convert them. So say, for example, 8 Series BMW, we would make that as a Night Rider. We would fiberglass the kit, fiberglass the whole bodies, do the interior, red color, wheels, whatever it is. Because nowadays, you guys have a lot of options on cars, There was not many options in before 1997, 2000, which is about 30 years ago. There was not many options. So I met somebody called Miss Dynamite. So Miss Dynamite came to me and said, Jay, so my nickname is Jay, so in that trade, Jay, I need you to design some cars for my shoots. I said, explain me more. So he said, I want a unique car for my video shoots. So we used to work for her to make her car. So we could have worked on a car for 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, a team of people, but the car will be so uniquely designed that no one else got the same car. So those days, and that's where I made...
Where did you meet Miss Dynamite? Who is she?
Miss Dynamite is a singer. It's our time singer. If you Google it, you'll find she's African origin, but she was a top rating singers. I think she's got millions of followers or still now. And you might find on her old days videos, J number plate written all over
Nice.
it.
I'm gonna have to Google this up.
Yeah. So you'll find the J number plates on an 8 Series, 5 Series, 3 Series, all of those cars. And I think there are half a dozen, most probably I sold it to the Bengali youngsters in Tower Hamlets and other areas. But we've done about 70 customized cars in our life. Then obviously we moved on from there on. Suddenly, 1999, I remember I went home and the Bengali TVs comes here for 2 months and 3 months, take the subscription and they just disappear. Hold on a second, there is ETV came in, the ITV came in, BTV.
So you got Bangla TV, you
Bangla
got
TV
a few other TV. ATN, was ATN there before Channel S started, or
they came and gone. Obviously now this is
there was loads of Channel 9.
So they come and take the subscription and they disappear. So
was that a thing? Like, so people was that a business model? Okay, I do remember you had to pay for Bangla TV.
Every TV used to pay.
So you pay and then they would just close shops. Is it because they couldn't run it, or is it because it was more of a scheme?
I don't know. This is a debatable question because I think they thought the Bengali market was big enough. They didn't do their risk assessment correctly. So, you need at least 50,000 householders to, pay for the TV. Those days was not as cheap as now. So, when we first started Channel S, we was paying £1.2 million just for the airspace. Now, same thing, you can get it for 150,000 quid. So that is the difference. 25 years ago, 20 years ago, televisions and internet was one of the most expensive things in this planet. Yeah. Now everybody's got the phone on the television on their phone. So it's a different thing. So anyway, I decided to do something, and every time I speak to some Bengalis, they speak to me in Hindi or Urdu because the Star, Z, everybody's taking the market. Every Bengali household, I thought, hold on a minute. They're forgetting, they're not following their roots, so let's start. And that's how the Channel S started. I most probably was the most controversial man when I started Channel S because there was not one newspaper did not write negative things about me, starting from UK to Bangladesh. All my friends, they still come and see me, some of them. Because I started talking Sylheti language. But I always said to people, there is state language was Rashtra Bangla, which is, there is no such a thing Shuddho এবং Ashuddho. There is, our mum language is always pure. So my debate was always with them that there is a state language, but that is Matri Bhasha, my mother tongue. So I am going to do things in mother tongue. That does not mean that I can't speak the state language. So that was a debate in Channel S, but I think that was the success of Channel S because of the mother tongue language. And ever since Channel S gone, it's now going to be 20 years, but there was negative writings in Bangladesh, in Sylhet. But guess what, brother? In Bangladesh state televisions, there are 47 different dialogues they now broadcast. But I am the one who started it. They all laughed at me. Because if you see Scottish television, they speak in Scottish. If you go to the Welsh, they speak in Welsh. But when I started talking Sylheti, they could not digest it. They thought I'm just dividing the society. But I was not. I was only getting my youngsters, my brother and sisters, to come to their roots rather than they going and following the Indian roots, which, no offense to that, but we have a very strong culture. Bengali have the best cultures within the Asians. I'm not saying the Pakistani don't have, I'm not saying the Indian don't have, but we are blessed. And we Sylheti especially, I compare Sylhet with Qatar. People don't, might be you and I not going to see it. The reason being the Sylhet got the gas. The gas Sylhet got, we will be selling to the planet. It is because of the political crisis where we are. The Sylhet have, where we came from, where I came from, Mulabi Bazar, is 92 tea estate. 2 largest tea estate in the planet is in my district. 2. No, I'm not, go and Google all of this, what I'm telling you, the facts there are. There are 22, rather good, there is one place in Sylhet, the tree grows on the water, right? It's like an Amazon, that site. Okay, it's World Heritage Site number 22 in the planet. Sylhet has got the such a rich history that many of us don't know. We Sylheti are totally... Our language is... There are over 6,000 languages in the planet, but 3,000 have got their own alphabet. The Sylhetis got their own alphabet. They have their documents. Because a lot of people in Britain don't understand the Sylhets. That's where we are.
What is our alphabet? I mean, can you give an example?
Nagri. I can show you. If you Google it, you'll find such a B, C, D. You will find the Nagri, everything in Channel S Studio. There is a whole history, whole Bible, everything else. Your great-grandfather most probably had the same thing. So if you go back Sylhetis, we Sylhetis are very good, world-famous shipbuilders. We used to build the wooden ship in the world for the Mughals and Nawabs. That's how the heritage started. That's why the Sylhetis started coming to Britain over 300 years ago. And the first lady came from Sylhet was not a man, called Naomi. Naomi came to UK. She came in here over 300 years ago. Because we used to make the ship for the world with the timbers, Nawabs, even Ibn Battuta from Morocco, he went to Sylhet to visit us and see us.
Really? Ibn Battuta?
Yeah, Google it. You'll see.
Wow.
He went to see Shah Jalal. Because the Sylhetis today don't understand their heritage, they don't understand their legacy, because we came from a place where, I think we are this soft, look, let me tell you how generosity our community is. Just look at East London and then you'll realize, but you might not realize because your shop is around the corner. Why would a 19 major charity would make us surrounding shops within the charity shop, within the East London Mosque? Because my community donate the most money in this country. We estimated the Bengali community does 25 to 30 million pound a year at donation. So why in Walthamstow we don't have 19? Because that's a Parliament Pakistani community. Why don't we have more than 3 charities there? Why do we have 19 charity in Tower Hamlet? Why don't we have big charities in Birmingham where the Asian community? Why don't we have in Bradford? Because the Bengali, they're the softest creational, soft touch people, and they give money. That's why Muslim Aid can afford to rent 200 grand. Islamic Relief can pay 200,000 pound rent. Anybody and everybody. So that what goes back to the Sylheti heritage, because we love to help other people, and it's genetic within ourselves. Because where we came from, we had the first kingdom of the female queen, which is Ira Didi. Ira Didi, it was not Elizabeth I or Elizabeth II. Our queen, she was a lady. Her name was Ira Didi. She used to slaughter men to take a shower with the blood. This is a history. The Sylheti don't understand. That's the Jointa Rajbari still exists. Sylheti have some serious, because remember on the 190 years of colonial service, some of us still left as a colonial, because you will see that if a Bengali man sits here and the next man is an Englishman, they will give priority to the white man, because still the brainwash of the colonial services still exist in the society. That's why in Britain, you are never going to, if a black man does something, always something goes wrong. That is because there is a gap between a white and an Asians and a black, 3.5 billion pound worth of pay gap. How does that work? Say, I'm a white man, you're a black man. We both started police service together. You will never get promoted and I'll become a detective surgeon by the time you even wake up. And that's where the pay gap is for 3 point. And that is all because they still think we are their servants. They still think we're the colonial service because 190 years they ruled us. And that's why you are never going to make it to there, you see? So we have to work together to close the gap. If we don't close the gap, it's not going to work.
So
Bye. You can talk to me for a whole night. Just ask me questions. Really me like this, you're going to be a serious man. You can't cut this program.
That's why right at the beginning we said like there's too much to talk about with Mahee bhai.
Even Jeremy Clarks get frightened when I start talking. So you got to ask me questions. You can't leave me like this, otherwise this program will look like a nonsense. You got to ask me questions. Tash.
So look,
I'm not your traditional Bengali.
Why do you care so much? There's so many Bangladeshis. How many Bangladeshis in this country? 750 something. Why is it that?
Let's get our body language correct.
Why does it matter to you so much?
Look, very simple. It is not what is matter to us. We all have to understand. Islam did not start it from Prophet Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It started from Adam alayhi salam. Submission. I don't like that we sell our iman for a few quid. This is always the principle of mine in life. I never been a black and white, but I always scared of Allah. I always scared of Qiyamah. I always scared of taking somebody's food from the table for me, because that's a temporary. So when I see things are wrong in this society, I say to Allah, I'm going to fight. This is me. Coronavirus time, this community was buying chicken for £20. Channel S may have lost 20,000 a month advertisement from the other businessmen.
Yes, I remember this.
Coronavirus time, these people were selling meat for £400, £300 a sheep. I had to stood up. They all tried to sue me. They took me to court. They took me, the Ofcom. Everyone was in my favor. Even a judge ruling says that Mr. Ferdous may have said the wrong word in a wrong time, but the historical truth was there, and therefore there is no case to uphold. So this community, brother, when we done Channel S, one Bengali guy taken £500,000 from the Hajj business, and there is no tickets. So I decided to speak to the MI5, sat down with them. I managed to find where he's in Bangladesh, and I said, go and freeze the bank account, get the money and give it to these people. His family may not like it, but what can I do? But on a greater scale, I have given 400 Haji their money and their passport back. And he was in behind bar for 5 years. So I was happy. So this is how I am. And how I am talking to you, that's how I talk to my dad. That's how I talk to my kids. This is me. Either you like it or you don't like it. Because if you want to put your head down, you only put your head down to Allah. You do not put head down to anybody else. But if you see somebody more knowledgeable than you put up and learn something from him. But if you see somebody rich, put your head down. Because it's a very simple. Life has no meaning. Life is an opportunity Allah has given you. And Allah, when He's given you an opportunity, what do? You have to have a balanced life. What is a balanced life? Balanced life is not working 18 hours. Balanced life is have a good sleep, do your duty, look after your mom and dad, look after your children. Do not ignore your responsibility. Do not come up with an excuse. Allah will give you, if it's in your nasib, He only talks about once. One verse He talks about taqdeer. He does not talk about hundreds of times. Only one verse He talks about taqdeer. You can chase, brother, everyday money. You won't catch it. If it's written, it will come to you. You wouldn't know how the money is going to come to you. How I am in this community, we have a lot of gray. Lawyers, for example. Majority of them, again, they're not doing the correct. So I am taking as much gray I can take to a limit, because I am governed by Ofcom. You can't just say something about someone. You need evidence. But society, in our community, is a number of issues. Number one issue is we have in our society more than 25,000 families, single parents. Because one group of men came into Britain, they wanted to become legal. They were educated in Bangladesh. So one generation, the mums, I feel sorry for them because I meet them every week. I know the problems. So the father decided to come here, get his passport, because he did not understand what Allah says. Because passport lagi biya to hoito nai. It's not in existence. His niyat was to get a red passport, but he has destroyed a 50 to 70, 100,000 children life here because they're growing up with no father and mom can't do everything. So there are a lot of problems in our society because our intention is not correct.
So, talking of problems, now there's a big problem that's happening right now, which is this migration issue. People came flooding to the UK, and a lot of these sponsorship licenses are getting cancelled. I mean, what's your view on this, and how are you going to fight this? Because it seems like you're a community champion. Well, that's what you say you are.
Look, I don't do anything to become a champion. As you know, a lot of people don't also like me. But even the whole community don't like me. It doesn't make no difference. As long as my Lord loves me, I'm happy. As long as I am satisfied here and that I am doing what... 2 words in English, protect and provide. We are in Britain for 2 English words called protect. British protect us still. After all this nasty thing they do, they protect their citizen and they provide for us. And 2 other words. If we want to follow somebody, we follow Prophet Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I may not have a beard like you, but I believe in Allah. My iman is very, very strong because I don't put my head down for small thing. I don't. I don't make decisions straight away. I ask him, then I make decision next morning. So I have a different way of my life, total different way. The problem you are saying, it's very simple. Look, immigration, we want immigration in Britain. We need immigrations in Britain because Muslim populations are 6.5% of today's of British. 6.5. That's going to go to 11.5 soon. So all this immigration policy by conservative was doing, they're not bringing many Muslims. That's why they have an open checkbook for the Indians to come in. It's indirectly, they don't want Muslim to come in.
Are they afraid that ultimately, because of the growth, it's just going to kind of overtake?
2050, it's going to be a huge growth of Muslims. How many church you seen that converted in Tower Hamlets into flats? And how many mosques have you seen in Tower Hamlet converted into flats? I can give you half a dozen church has been converted, right? Because they're not, Western world are not interested on religion. They think we're idiots. They're more technology based, they're more everything else. But to answer your questions is very simple. Look, a lot of people will be suffering, but they did not do their risk assessment properly because there are, in these communities, a lot of brokers present the packet and a lot of people don't know, they don't even have a job to give. So there will be some, but some are taking asylum seekers, some are moving on to different jobs. But I welcome, because that's why the census now shows we are close to 1 million. All this time we was 500,000. Italian came in and now the new ones coming in. It's good for your business, good for me, good for the community, good for the mosque. Let them come in. They're not taking food from our table. But I don't like these false marriages though. That gives me that how we...
But now there's this care visa scheme. You know, people are coming flooding through with care visa and the government is cancelling the sponsorship licenses for those people that have issued the license. Because I know of so many people that are within my close circle who are suffering from this situation. It's our community, right? It's people from the community who have taken huge sums of money, 27K, 30K, 35K in some cases. Now there's...
As I said, there will be a handful of people, not thousands will be suffering, hundreds will be suffering because I have dealt with 1 or 2 cases. But look, there is always a grey part in this. And once they're in here, somehow they will stay. There will be political asylum or there will be a domestic violence because British made a lot of systems to loophole to be utilized and the lawyers will make money and guide them. Few of them will go to Europe or few of them will go from here to Canada because a lot of people are going to Canada now. Once you come to UK, to get a Canadian visa is very simple. From Bangladesh, you can't get a Canadian visa. But when you're in England, if you apply, they just give it to you online. So a lot of people are also going. So yes, they need to still do risk assessment, who they're giving their hard-earning money. And there are some big crooks there, but there are some good people as well. So balance up. But I think they got enough spare money to throw it away because one guy told me he's nearly spent for 6 people altogether 150 grand and he's pretty happy. That's only a few days ago. Me, Farhan, and everyone sat down. He's spent about 150 rand. He's bringing money from Bangladesh and staying here and paying the tax without going to work. And I just look at him and I said, he's got the money. Some of them are very professional in Bangladesh, but they just got the opportunity on a care visa. That's where they're coming in.
That is crazy. Now, Mahee bhai, you said you fear Allah, and you said as long as Allah is happy with you, then it doesn't matter what anyone thinks of you. Now, I may be wrong, and I hope I am wrong. Did you ever own a nightclub in your life?
No.
No?
No, I don't. So, I had a restaurant called Anakana in the city of London. Most probably was one of the busiest restaurants in the history. I had about 13 restaurant chains. I have many businesses. Most probably you don't have many fingers in your hands. I have done some successful.
I can name a few. Purple Eye Technologies.
That's my brother.
Prestige Auto Group.
That's my brother.
Purple Eye is your brother.
Yeah.
Prestige Auto Group. Diamond is your maybe leasing company or insurance company. And what else? Anakana we found online.
Yeah.
Channel S.
Yes.
And property business. You're a builder. You said you're a builder.
My main business is I'm an underwriter from Gibraltar since 2006. I underwrite insurance for the lawyers. And I am a sole underwriter. That's why when Channel S lose £500,000 a year, I manage somehow. Channel S never made the money. That was to serve the community. That was to serve the humanity. That is still because of other business activities. That's where I stayed and everybody else left. And that is another way of saying thank you to my community, that Allah has gave me the ability to do that. So I insure. I have a small book. I can't tell you how much, but it's a small book, and it is only 6 of us runs it from Gibraltar. And that is an insurance business I started many, many years ago. But this is a professional insurance. Then the second is the leasing business. Third is property. Yes, I do properties. But apart from that, I have another business called RBT. So what we do with this, we break cars and we process the scrap. It sounds but it's a very nice business.
It sounds grimy, but
it's not like your perfume smells and everything else. Because I thought, you got, it's everybody. I enjoy those cars and I enjoy scrapping it, get the metal, recycle it, reuse it. Because I think, I always I said to someone a few days ago, I said, if Allah didn't give us a metal, we wouldn't fight in this planet. And he looked at me and he think I'm just going another Lulu conversation. Because then the West wouldn't be able to make bombs if there was no metal. Plastics, you can't make it. So then how do you put the metal, how do you burn metal? You need fire, right? So we use fire every day. How do you put a fire down? I said, you need water. And what does water we do? We human drink the water. So I was explaining him that exactly how Allah created and what happened and how it's happened. Business-wise, nightclubs, no, brother. Restaurants, yes. If you tell me
what happened to Anakana?
One day my mom called me. We was doing extremely good business. And they said, Torkita fat bort tonight.
Is it the one near in Marsat building near the roundabout, the old street roundabout?
Yeah,
is that the city road?
This is the old company house started from number 1 Oliver Yard.
Okay.
So when you registered a limited company, that's where he started from, brother. Now he's gone to Wales, this building.
Okay.
So my parents was against me selling alcohol in the restaurants. And therefore, I decided to sell it on. And I done a tawbah to Allah in 2010. And I said, I am not selling any more alcohol. That's it. So it's 14 years I didn't go to restaurants. Anything else? Ask me.
What have you done with the proceeds of the restaurant? Because the rumors were that you made huge losses and you would never ever go into a business that involves alcohol. And you just kind of...
Right. So I was not the only shareholder. There were a number of shareholders. I had a friend of mine. So I had a chef. So I was the majority shareholder, but the other people runs it. Mm-hmm. Look, there are so many rumors about me. If it's if it is a bar, you wouldn't call anakana. Anakana means come and eat.
Yeah.
So that's how I Silati name I converted. Ow or cow. On nailito khuilam ne ow or fio. Money, So I didn't call pio. So the name should explain you what is the purpose of it. Brother, rumors is good. Because at least I can get some neki from him. Because Allah clearly says, Judi Amra, if we talk behind backbiting, morabair mangsho khawar shoman. Right. Allah clearly says, a direct verse. This is not a grey verse, it's a direct verse. So if people talk about it, I'm quite happy. May Allah forgive them.
Okay, so I have one massive request. As of today, 90% of our viewers have not yet subscribed to Side by Side podcast. Please, if you are enjoying our contents, don't forget to subscribe to the channel you are tuned into. Thank you very much, and let's get straight into the show. So, why do you think people dislike you? I mean, I don't want to say they hate you, but there are people that dislike you. What do you think is the main one that they dislike you for?
This is going to be a wrong, if I'm answering. You're never going to, in my position, you're never going to satisfy everyone in life. Say to me that you said something in your life and all your mother, father, and brother and sisters all accepted the same thing. It never happens in life.
No.
So same thing with me. I may say something. There are few people who aren't accepted. If we go to the prophets' times, you will see they had the same problem. If you go to the leaders, you will have the same problem. If you're a businessman, you will have the same problem. If you're older son in the family, and if you tell everyone same thing, there will be two of them saying, no, I don't agree with him. So it's a disagreement. I wouldn't say they hate me or they don't like me. So another thing I done that went out of control. When Lutfur Bhai first came in power, I done three things I wanted to do for the society. One of them was a dealer a day, because Tower Hamlets was going through some serious problem. Those concepts, so it may have gone out of control. Somebody told them that I am against all the drug dealers.
Oh, right, okay.
So dealer a day, I wanted to clean the Tower Hamlet, that there is no drug dealer exist in Tower Hamlet, but it's not possible. They done dealer a day. They had to arrest. So we sit down, and that's why you will see that those people will never love me or like me. They all hate, but I'm doing it for greater scale of the society.
Don't you think it's the media coverage about you, about Cash for Crash or the scheme that you, I guess you were found guilty for? So
let me tell you, brother, if you don't go to the court, you wouldn't know. So the claim was for £11,300.
Only £11,300.
Yeah, so you need to do your study first. But look, most probably I could not do a presentation correctly to impress the judges. But remember, I'm spent. So you can't even, this is no longer on my history. You find it on a Google.
Yeah.
Because I'm spent by the British rule. So my criminality does not come in. So if I want to go to Lord today, I can go. If I want to become an MP, because I have spent it. Spent means 10 years over, you become spent. Was I guilty? Yes, jury found me guilty. I appealed. I lost for a 1 point something million with court case, but I lost. There is winner, loss. And I personally think that was the best thing could have happened with me.
Why?
Because you see, it's another experience of life. And that calms me down. If that didn't happen, I most probably would become a field sub in this community.
Field sub, in terms of you would become a field?
Field sub, you would have become a field sub, because that is the people who don't like it, that's the one they spread everywhere. Because there is nothing else for them to find. So, say for example, you're in a business. You haven't paid HMRC. How many of them get prosecuted on a HMRC? Remember, I was on a 54,000 claim average we done. a year, over 50,000. There is not many Bengali that haven't taken a service from Prestige.
We've come to you. I mean, I'll tell you a story about Prestige and how I know Prestige. So I used to go to Stepney Green School.
Can I just finish it?
Yeah,
Otherwise,
yeah.
you're going to say
sure.
that I didn't answer it properly. So this is an insurance company called AXA. They decided to pay the police, and it's not a sort of I made it up. So they opened a department in Earls Court to prosecute people like me. Today, Range Rover done the same thing. They given police £15 million because all Range Rover are going missing. So the police are now going to start looking for a Range Rover. So same thing, I was a target. But I tell you what, that's why I'm now opening an insurance company. I didn't want to tell you this. I'm now opening a car insurance company. I'm just about to launch it. Am I going to launch it this year or next year? I don't know. And that is going to be the game play now. I am going to be playing because the Muslim insurer, all of these people there are putting the price up. If you now go to tonight, compare.com, and you put John Smith, your name, same address, and get how much quote you get. And as soon as you put Muhammad Mahee Ferdous or Muhammad Haq, and same address, same car, see how much difference. Go and see BBC News.
Inna lillahi, no way.
No, go and see it. The planet we are living in, go and see it tonight. All your viewers, whoever it is, I want them to check it and see how we get robbed. How are we getting robbed? So we need to come back. And that's why I said that was the best thing happened in my life. You wait and see. I'm 51 now. I still got profit lives up to 63. I want to live up to 63. After that, if Allah want to keep me, that's a bonus. That's a bonus. But next 10, 12 years, it's this Shangram, this fight, this struggle. Dealer a day, drugs, arrest. Been happening in Tar Hamlet for 3-4 years. So the group of people are behind this. So I was at Gunpoint outside Prestige House, which is the Channel S building in Walthamstow. 11th of May. You know, these, I must say, the police was very good. I thought with all my roller coaster life, they're most probably not going to take this case seriously. I must say, Royal London Hospital also, I was burnt. But again, Alimul Ghaib, there is no mark in my body. No plastic surgery, just a bit of olive oil and I'm done. It's him. So, what happened? We cleaned out Tar Hamlets, a lot of these things. You don't find the full story on them, you see.
No, exactly.
You're never going to find the full story because
you tell us. You're here, so you tell us.
So, 11th of May, I get Gunpointed picked up. They wanted £250,000 from me. So the Bengali guy who sold me he told the people that I have millions of pound cash. But I don't. That's the sad reality. I do not have millions of pound cash. Because I don't believe in mortgage, my buildings are mortgage free. I don't believe in interest. I do not only believe in anything else, I do not believe in interest. So that's why the properties you see, there is no mortgages. And that's where I survive because Allah gives me more barakah. Even interest rate goes up to whatever percentage is, I'm not worried. If the whole world is crushed, I'm not worried because the buildings still exist. So I gunpointed 250,000 ransom day. Luckily, one of them kidnapper converted recently Muslim, and I was reading Yasin wal Quran al Hakim. I was reading the whole Yasin surah.
Subhanallah.
Because I was then, when they put the hot water on me, I fainted. No one till today knows how Allah sent me from the North Circular Road to my office. No one. Police could not even work out who. Was it an angel? Was it a jinn? Or was it a human who dropped me to my office? No one knows. It's a mystery still. But I think it was Angel Allah decided to pick me up from there. So I got fainted. They couldn't get the money. They torture me. I seen the Bengali guy who's got 32 years. He's in jail. I seen him once and I heard him and said, 250,000, we can go and pick it up from this. Anyway, so I fainted after I was reading Yasin Surah. You'll find that on there because that was on the trial, Bandu. And then this guy, he's a converted one. He decided to drop me near the A10 on the grass. They thought I'm dead. From there, how I came to office, I don't know. And after I came to office, Tazbai, he called the ambulance and everything else, and the trial happened, and they got 32 years sentence, and 2-3
Mahee bhai, what was going through your head at that time when they I mean, what was your reaction? Take us through this journey, because I find it very fascinating.
No, but you see, that is the problem. When you know that Malikul Maut can come anytime, I had no reaction. I didn't make fuss about it. He put the gun on. I just said, Inna Lillah, right? Because I was so stupid, my car door was open and they then blocked me outside my office, 1:30 in the night. They come inside, they blindfolded my eyes, they put one of those, and I'm taken, I don't know where I'm going. So I said to them, what do you want? They said, we want some money. They didn't torture me beginning. They took me there, and in the room, I remember there were a few birds. They put the kettle on, and when they put the hot water, after 4 or 5 minutes later, I fainted. So when I waken up from sleep, I started reading Quran. I do know some of it, not all of it. And I started reading Quran. And then they tried to make this phone call, that phone call, this. I was half dead, so I don't know. Was I scared? No, I was not scared. I had many, many things in my life. I was not scared at all. I believe in Allah. If He thinks my time is over, I'm going to go. And that's what it is. Came back, went to the hospital, and they said, you need 3-degree burns you got in your body. You need to do plastic surgery. I said, no, I don't want plastic surgery. Leave it like this. And
where were the burns, on the body or face or where?
My head was and my here, because I was sitting and the hot boiling water was going on the floor. So, and it's gone. But that was another experience in life. But nothing changed in my life. I was 7-8 days later, I'm working, in the office. That's me. I love my job, and I work. I do many things. I mean, I love goats in my house. I got goats. I like animals. I got horses. All these things I like. I even got a dog, a big dog at home. I like those animals because anything Allah has created, I love it.
So what about dog? I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but is it for safety reasons that you keep a dog?
Yeah, he don't go inside the house.
Okay.
So he's a security dogs, because I live in a small holding. I bought many years a farm, and I have hundreds of goats. I don't usually buy goats from outside. It's a big place, and you need a dog, and you are allowed to have a dogs. It's purely, and he's the best friend of mine. And
wow,
he's a best friend.
Take me back to prison. What happened?
White-collar crime is a different category of crimes. So if you rape someone, if you rob someone, if you kill someone, it's different type. We are white-collar crime. So anything to do with frauds, it's not a violence. So you just go. So for example, first, after a week, alhamdulillah, there was some imam, I can't mention their names because of my channel as connection. They always used to take food from me for outside. We had, from Gram Bangla, I used to have a food every night, brother. So there is nothing to tell you that apart from going to mosque, I had to lead the namaz in the mosque. And it's a networking, but as a white-collar crime, you come home every week after 3 or 4 months after, I was coming weekly basis home, and I was running my office every week, 3 times. My lawyer and my accountant come in there. I'm sitting down and instructing them what to do. It's from outside. you think the prison is prison.
Yeah.
They don't take your freedom. Sometime when you're outside, that's why the system don't work. That's why a lot of criminals do repeat crime. It's better for them to stay in that jail and safe and relaxed. You can water 7 days. Secure 7 days. No heating bill worry. No, food worry. No garments worry. No clothes to be washed. You're not worried about it because everything is in a system. Taxpayer paying for it is in a system. What is the problem? Problem is once you get a conviction, your life becomes difficult in England. And that's why my insurance company, because my insurance company will insure all criminals, all foreign people. My insurance policy is totally, my system is getting designed. It asks you where was you born. So the people who's coming, anybody, this is the insurance company ask you, are you a believer or not a believer? If you're a believer, it goes and say, what religion do you have? Look, I'm a controversial man. So, gadar ufre ek mon ar 10 mon to soman hota na ni. So, let me explore the markets. Let me explore
What
the
could be the
markets.
repercussions, though, if you were to explode the market? I mean, what would other underwriters do?
I most believe about 3 years after somebody's going to try to buy it off me.
Okay.
Because remember, I wouldn't end up in a jail if I was not a sharp cookie in the city of London. Because in the gap, I used to be a claim manager for an insurance company. So when I started talking in the beginning, so before I opened my garage, I was working for a claim manager for an insurance company. That's how I know the claims. So if this is a grey hair networking club, this insurance business. This insurance business, it's not. How many Asians has gone to this business? Who's done it? Who's done it? Who has done it? There is a halal insurance came in from Malaysia. Before they opened, there was bust. And that is because...
How much money do you need, Mahee bhai?
You don't need much money. It's a very simple business. So you can have... now the insolvency 2 has came in. So a small one, you can start with £12 million, but you can't borrow that money. This money have to be clean and have to be sit in an account of an insurer, and then they will give you an underwriting facility of an £18 million ballpark. This business I know ins and out because you don't pay, you will have a reinsurer. So say any claim comes in over $500,000, you will get another reinsurer from from American AIG or somebody. This sort of business, I go and give lectures on people. You guys see I'm on a television screaming and shouting, but I have, I do many other things.
Is there a method to your screaming and shouting? I mean, so when you talk, when you said like,
right, so are you satisfied with your kidnapping, or you want me to go more into, which one you're not satisfied? You tell me.
No, I want to know, like, when you talk, do you think?
No.
You don't think?
No.
So when you said, Amar khufalo idiot lekhani, were you not thinking?
No.
Why not?
Look, you only time you think when you are lying, remember. If it is on your desktop, why do you have to think? If you are getting from the memory, do not edit this part, please. When you are thinking, you're lying. Take my word. I was working in a Scientology many years ago. When people lie, they take time to give an answer. When it comes natural, they don't need to. Go and do that maths tomorrow. You will see. Anybody start thinking to give their answers, he's just making up everything inside. Because if it's, say, in your desktop, not in a computer server, if it's in a server, you need time, right?
Yeah,
But if it's in your desktop, why do you need time?
Wow, interesting analogy. So would you ever become a politician?
No.
Why not?
When I was young, my mom used to say, don't go too close to that TV. Now, I have to buy Googles with TV inside for my children. When I was young, my mum would have said, Barakayona refut, koram muranmu. Mummy will cook at home. Now, everyone got Ubers and this app and that app because the world has changed. So many years ago, when people used to get in politics, there was Nawab, son of a Nawab or a son of a Mughal. They used to give their money to the public. Now, the 21st century, Sur, Dakhait, lowlifes, they come into politics and then rob people money. Do you think I'm gone mad to go into this? Complete concept has changed. They don't go and do things for other people.
Even British politics.
British politics is last 10 years been the worst. Islamophobia, British politics, sexist, rapist, number 10, where it's meant to be mother of all democracy. We did not even make our prime minister ourselves democratics. Some of those MPs we voted and the MP made Rishi Sunak. If Rishi Sunak goes to the white man today, he's never going to become a prime minister, brother. He's never going to become a prime minister. So British politics became so contaminated. Their hand is so red. British politics, I wanted to do politics when Tony Blair, I was a Labour member. Tony Blair decided to go to Saddam Hussein country. Where was the mass destruction? Where is it? Majority of Americans and British Prime Minister should be tried for war crime because they have indirectly and directly they have killed millions of civilians in this planet. Innocent people they have killed. Their hands are red. Their hands are red. And I don't want to have day of judgment with those people. Therefore, it's not for me, brother, politics.
So the machine is too powerful for you to even get involved and try and do anything. It's not going to work.
It is not, because it is not powerful. Our people mentality need to change. We still think colonial time is going. As soon as, remember, Britain still works, protect, and our judicial system is the best system in the planet. I respect the judicial system in Britain. Judicial system works. Political system does not work. British political system does not work. What happened? Boris Johnson decided to print money, give it to his friends and families. Has he been prosecuted? That was my taxpayer money. Musk are now getting destroyed. Billions of pounds worth of Musk. What happened? What did he do? He was having a party. What politics are we talking about? The lady Liz Truss comes in for a few days. The whole market crashes. 14-time interest rate goes up. What happens? I do study about them.
Do you think they have a method to the madness now? I mean, it seems like, British, they know everything and, they're planning 10 years ahead and 100 years ahead. Do you think now is a time where they're actually kind of crashing? They don't know what they're doing anymore.
I think the British legacy does not work. Remember, 190 years, they robbed the whole world, including the Queen on the King. It is not me. Remember, 190 years ago, Britain used to queue up for an egg. East India Company went to our country. Remember, after Second World War, they did not even have a toilet in their house, brother. Then they had a popular bath. Whole Tower Hamlet used to go to this bath to shower. There was not hygiene. Mm-hmm. There was not hygiene. They was not civilized enough. You are asking me questions where that a lot of people goes thinking, my thinking is different. No, see what British done. Do you know, brother, why German car and Japanese cars are so famous in the world? After Second World War, there was a treaty signed by the Americans and the British saying, German, you can't make bombs. Japan, you can't have an army. You can only do household goods. That's why anything good produced by either Japanese or Germany's. What is British made? British technology. I don't agree that Bangladesh is doing well. Do you know why? When our forefather came in here, they used to do the garments. Do you remember? Same thing now. They do other jobs, and they gave all the jobs to Bengali to do shilais and, the garments. Does that mean our thinking have to change? We need to change our thinking, not doing garments for pennies and pounds for this Western world. We need to change our thinking.
How can we change our thinking?
Very simple.
What advice would you give?
Education. Education is so important. Why it is? You see, 1971, we, independent from Pakistan, the Pakistanis, they were the best people. Bengali civil are the best people. It's the army. What they done with Sheikh Mujib 50 years ago, they just done it with Imran Khan, this army. Sheikh Mujib, we are brothers, East and West. We from same blood group. But the armies was the bad people. They did not allow Sheikh Mujib to become the prime minister because he was a Bengali. Guess what happened now? History is repeating itself. Their money is worse than Bangladesh, nearly 360, 70, 80, below 401 pound. We are doing very well. Our economy, within this circle, we are the third in Bangladesh. British has spent in our country this year over 500 millions. Bangladesh is doing good. But where is Pakistan? We was brothers. We speak Urdu. Our relative is in Pakistan. But it was not the Pakistani public or a Bengali public. We just created a hate for nothing. We are brothers and sisters.
Don't you think by us Bangladeshis, we're holding on to it as well?
No, that is because that's why if you had the education, you wouldn't hold. So what happened is 1989, a friend of mine from Karachi showed me in their syllabus, they used to say that we Bengali was the bad people. Unnecessary, because it's the armies on the top. Because we had too many populations, and as a east, that's why Sheikh Mujib got the seats. If they would have accepted Sheikh Mujib as the prime minister, then we wouldn't fight. But the army would not allow. But luckily now, the new generation who's studying, they won't have no grass against each other's. I mean, my brother is married to a Pakistani, so, it's Muslims. We're brothers. We speak similar. The 30, 40 years ago, you couldn't even say you're bringing somebody at home. You'd be slaughtered at home. Anyway, by the way, I have bought a slaughterhouse. So after coronavirus, I'm just got it. So I see that we Bengali having got a serious problems of our intake. Coronavirus time, we are the one community who was affected the most. Bengali died the most. And that is because what we are eating, Bangladeshi fish, these, that, every single thing's had a serious problem. We are eating industrial poisons.
Wow.
Because this fish killed 3 years, 5 years ago. They got chemical in it to put the ice in it. So it's a subject, we need to spend money. I spent some money on a research on a scientific lab, and I'm now working on it, how to deliver it to the public until there is an alternative. That's why a lot of Bengali died, because what we are taking, it's literally rubbish. Everything is fake. Everything has got poisons on it. So I don't know how long we're going to be. I got a time to fight, but I can tell you the fighting must go on. And I enjoy it. And I go home, I sleep, I wake up. I don't have any problems,
You spoke about your mum quite a few times.
I lost my mum last year, this month, 28. And I think I speak straightforward because of mum from the childhood.
She used to speak straightforward.
Yeah, she was the educated one at home and straight. We are not allowed to lie, because remember, mother of all crime is the lies. Once we start lying ourselves, we're finished. And I do something called accountability on me. I do every night, whoever knows me, I do not miss anybody's phone call. I will write all the missed calls, I'll phone them. If not first thing in the morning, they will receive a phone call. What did I achieve that day on 8 hours work? I must write. That's called accountability. Then I have something called transparency. I do not lie to myself and have American dream. I cut my clothes according to my size. Even there is an outstanding money, I don't count that money until it comes to my bank account because it's not mine. Something might go wrong somewhere. Once it's in my pocket, then I count this is mine, but I never count money when it's on somebody else's pocket.
What about your father? I mean, what impact and influence did he have on your shaping your personality?
No, father is a father, but I think the mum was very strong. Our mum was strong. We three brothers, we sort of, yes, daddy is there, daddy is working, but dad is pretty rich as well. He's very rich in Bangladesh.
Is he still around?
Yeah, he's in Bangladesh. He comes and goes. My younger one goes.
Is he proud of you?
I think he's pleased. My father don't like the word proud.
Okay.
Because I said something about proud, and he's pleased that Allah has gifted him a child, and I do my duty. And we as a Muslim, we should be pleased. Never we should be proud. We should be always pleased that Allah has gifted us something, Allah has gifted something, Allah has given something. He does not like anybody putting the chin up and ego up.
How do you think so big? I mean, is there a methodology in terms of, is there a calculated process? So you go and order 3,000 cars or 4,000 cars, however many, because I was saying before, I remember like going to Prestige for a claims or something, and then I see a sea of cars, like Clios, Mitsubishi Colts and Daihatsus. How do you think so big?
If I didn't have the community aspect, most probably, I find in the community that we need to start and make people like you should come forward, like do something like Dragon Den. Something.
Would you become a dragon if there was something like this?
Yeah, no problem. We need to come up with this. And we need to throw 100 grand on him, 200 grand on him, 50 grand on him. We need to, look, you asked me the valid questions about politics. How Rishi Sunak became Prime Minister, his father-in-law is rich, donated money to the Conservative, and he got the safe seat. We need to now come up with this concept, and we need to pick our boys and girls, and we need to get them to become a businessman. And they need to make money, they donate. We need to do and follow our Sasargor Bayan from Jerusalem, that Tara Kila Tumari Tara donate all about money. And we need to come in this community, and we need to do a Bengali one and do 12 every year. Let's produce 12 millionaires. Let's throw 50 grand on him. Let's throw 100 grand on him. Because look, you do this. I know a lot of people. I know a guy, he just bring one type of product from Turkey and he makes £500,000 a year with 4 staff. Trading. I know another guy who brings oil. If each container, he makes about 5 grand net. He get 26 containers, you now work out. And he's only have a small warehouse and 1 driver. So that we need to explore and give our youngsters not only TikToks and these things, we need to give them some business ideas that go and do this. Yes, there are some doing it. There are quite a few new ones coming up with new ideas, but we need more ideas because we are now a 1 million people community.
But Mahee, don't you think, obviously you are saying, we need to support our younger generation, but if they say, look at Mahee and they Google him up and all these sort of things come up, don't you think like you should try and connect with them and, maybe try and have more dialogues with the young people? Because with reality with Mahee, I've seen, maybe I'm wrong, and I hope I'm wrong, but it's senior people that come to your show, generally.
No, I do agree, but look, I'm a 50 plus as well. And we all have a purpose. I agree I don't attract too many youngsters.
Yes.
But it's about timeline. my timeline is different than your timeline. You most probably 15 years younger than me.
I'm 38.
Yeah, so say 15 years, 13 years younger than me. So your crowd is different. Then whoever is teen, their crowd is different. We done well for ourselves. It was hard. When I came to England, the black people used to beat us. Forget about the white people. You haven't seen it. We couldn't even go to Brixton. People already nicked our cars. In a school, you had to fight with the black groups, then the white groups, then the Asian groups. So we had to fight with many things. Now we don't need to do any of this. We just need to sit and do some business. And the community will prosper if we produce businessmen. Okay, a lot of people don't have money. We invest some money. It's not a big issue because in England, if other communities doing it, why we can't do it? If dragon dens are doing it, we're not smaller than a dragon. Okay, we might not have 500 million, but we most probably have 100 million here and there.
You're the boss of the most successful Bangladeshi TV channel in this country, so why don't you do it? I mean, as a proprietor or the owner.
I am thinking, we are thinking, but what happens is you have 5 different type of satellite market, most probably another 5 years will be finished.
Yeah.
So I am now working to invest money on different things, free views and everything else. I'm working. It's slow because look, revolving time changing. And with that time, we can't catch up because we got many other things to do, So, but I can tell you, people like you should come forward. You've been successful and you need to now give something back to the community. Go do something. Look, and generally our community people, if you do a risk assessment, it's one of the best community we have.
You're one person that I was very afraid to kind of interview, believe it or not. I did do a lot of watching, it's just that you have this charisma about you, you have this energy about you. And one thing I've gathered about you, you're just a marketing genius.
I don't know about that, but I can
No, you are, because,
I can tell you, my father didn't give me £5,000 when I started.
Let's wrap it up with a few interesting questions. I mean, you said you already follow up with calls every morning. Is there anything else that you do when you wake up in the morning? What's your routine?
My routine is very simple. No, when I said wake up, that's the first thing. I don't do it. My routine is very simple. I sleep 6 to 7 hours maximum in my life. Someday even 5, which is not a good sign, but I can't switch off sometimes. I think about the creations. I think about many things. And I like greens. I like countryside. I sort of love all the animals. Everything. That is because Allah has created all of this for us. For everything is created for us, mankind, for us. So I love those things. I wake up in the morning. I like to start my day about 7-ish. After namaz, I like to start lemon tea and work. I don't like breakfast. I do not eat breakfast. And then I come in. I most probably still do 14 hours work, 12 hours work, but within that there are social activities. Somebody's coming in, somebody's not all work. I believe that we can't plan anything. Allah is the greatest planner.
So do you not have like a to-do list, like, you know what, I need to do this today and I need to write it down?
No. I do everyday diary system. I don't use computer. I'm not that skilled with computers because when I was studying, I hardly can do emails, but I got PA that does it, other spelling mistakes and God knows what else. But with AI and everything else, you don't need much, with artificial intelligence.
What's the most unusual food you've eaten?
Not unusual. I cook very well. I have a serious cooking skill, and I'll invite you one day, inshallah.
Inshallah, I'm looking forward to it. This is on the record.
Yeah, serious cooking skill. So when I was students, I used to work for couple of good restaurants in West End, and I picked up, and I still sort of, as a hobby, I cook. And in fact, I was thinking to do a competition with quite a few people. So I cook, love unusual food means I like everything halal, but I like small portion. And in Egypt, I had a dessert, but they put cheese inside and like a very soft, and they put all the cheese inside and he roll it and make the dessert and he just put a spread of a honey. That was the unusual one because you've seen it in front of you makes. Apart from that, I'm not that sort of lover of...
No crabs or stuff like that?
No. If I go to Berkeley Square, I only eat fish. You know, if I'm going to meeting, I'm a fish man. Simple as that, anything and everything. But I love sort of catch an animal from the field, which we do sometime, and do the whole thing as a barbecue, 20, 30 people, like those sort of things.
What's the most beautiful country you've visited, in your opinion?
I like water, but Greece is a country I like. Puturbunus, I've been there. I had a yacht there for many years. Puturbunus is a nice place. I like water and green. I don't like high-rise building. I'm totally against high-rise building. And I don't even like to go, you know, I got a problem that going up.
Do you have fear of height?
I don't have a fear of height, but I just don't like staying in a hotel on the top. I always change it and bring it to down.
Why? Is it a fear that, like, you know, if something goes wrong, I can't go all the way down quickly? Or
no, it's just lift, then staircase.
Or you just don't like faffing around, waiting and this and that?
Yeah, and it's, if you got a fire, how are you going to go 40 story and 60 stories?
Yeah, I think that too sometimes.
So you can understand my taste if that is the case.
Yeah.
I don't like Dubai.
It's all fake.
Yeah. But I like Oman, the same states.
Natural.
Yeah. So I went to Oman, and I might be sort of, when I get old and if I'm still here, I'll stay in Oman for a few days. I got a flats there, so I didn't buy anything in Dubai. Because
Amazing. Interesting.
I just thought, hold on a second. All the Russian oligarchs, all these oligarchs are coming, they're all thieves and, you know, robbers, you know, coming in here and throwing money. And I'm thinking, hold on a minute. Everything is fake. It's no good. Let's move on.
Who do you look up to? Apart from Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and the Sahabis and, you know, apart from that, who do you look up to?
It is going to be a wrong statement. I don't look up to anyone. But when I wanted to start TV presentation, I done for 3 days course, and BBC Spotlight, Jeremy used to do, and I liked his way of approaching things because remember nowadays you guys are natural, but when I started my TV show, I had to go for a training, which way to look, how to look, and this, that, and 3 days short course, and I found he is a serious presenter, you know. Who else I follow? I do not follow any Muslim leaders in this planet. I don't follow any of those Muslim leaders. We should follow our fathers. Even bafur lekha for a khom takhleo, you must follow your father. And Allah's command I follow. I will have the joke and everything else. But whatever Allah says, we must do.
You don't look up to Muslim leaders. I mean, is it because of Gaza situation or what is it?
No, I just see none of them doing their job correctly because, and as there is a hadith now, so you have to listen to them. But but what are they doing correct? You tell me. You tell me what are they doing correct. Show me one thing they're doing correct. Saudi, now going to be the wine bars and disco and nightclubs.
I mean, Erdogan is doing some good stuff, no?
Yes and no, because their culture and traditions is different, and America don't like him, so he's just about to collapse and money goes crash and everything else. It's all about the big brothers, but the world is going to be three parts. Might be another 5 years. It's a very interesting time we're living in. A lot of things are going to be corrected and corrections because we live in a false economy. We don't have no gold reserve. We live in an economy where property price goes up, we are happy. But that can drop in a day. That can be a crash. Where is your reserve? So Muslim leader, I haven't found until today for last 50 years that one of them listened to Allah's command or see Prophet Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
But maybe they can't. Like, look at Dr. Morsi. You want to be straight, you see what happens.
They can. Iran is doing a great job now. There are a lot of controversial about Iran. If Iran did not stood, there won't be no Middle East left. There won't be no Middle East left. And we Muslims, we always say that we are one ummah. I don't see anyone understand meaning of ummah. We are not. We hate each other's. We don't spend our money in our shop. We will go and give it to the other people, our money. We don't help our ummah. Until we start helping our ummah, we're not going to be united.
So the situation in Palestine, is it no more of an economical? Economically, we should be supporting more, right? That's what as you say, our cousins have done. They've taken control over the money and the economy and the brands and the customer-facing brands.
For typical example, I can guarantee you today, in the Bengali markets, there is not one container of date came from Saudi. They're all from Jerusalem. But even an imam who sells the khazur in UK market, he will put Palestine. That's how contaminated our society is, brother. Because under Freedom of Act, I got how many container came from Saudi and how many is 26 or something in a whole year came in, and from there is 2,000 something. So you have to have a data. So you thinking you're helping Palestine. Where is Palestine? Any more dates left? Apart from West Bank, might be few hundred trees left. There is no trees. But you, as a Muslim, thinking I'm buying Palestine, and you're going to be paying Palestine, but you're not. You're giving to the Jerusalems. So this is where, if we don't become transparent and honest to ourselves, and look at this. Look at what is happening in Palestine. Well, what people are taking money, hundreds of millions. But I tell you, brother, not one charity has allowed to go and work there. All the charities are sitting on public money. That's why Channel S did not raise one charity money. I said, no, it's not going to work. Show me that you can go and work. United Nations, UAE, can't go and send their trucks. But here, Pakistani, Bengali, Indian, everybody's going to go change the whole Gaza. How? They collected millions. They collected money in the mosque. They're not sending any money. They're just... Our people, until we fear Allah, if we don't fear Allah, we are not going to change, brother.
How can we help? How can we support Gaza and Palestinians? Look, the situation is such that it's happening. We can talk, we can say, this is wrong and that is wrong and this should be this way, that way. But how can we really support? As a businessman yourself, I'm sure there are other entrepreneurs watching. What can we actively do to support our brothers and sisters?
I think initially now we have to just make dua. Allah will come up with something. I tell you why. When Ukrainian and Russian having war, the British in the parliament within a few hours changed the rules, saying 300,000 of you can come in, you can stay in somebody's house. So if they are such a good people, it is their problem on a history. British created those Palestine problems. Anywhere in the world they created. Why they could not say 300 Palestinians going to come into UK? Why they one rule for Ukrainian and why another rule for the Palestine? Think.
Why don't you reach out to Roshan Arali and say, speak?
Brother, this is not going to work.
Isn't it lobbying after all at the end? I mean, the more lobbying you have, the more pressure you have. You know, like say if you say anti-Semitic something, then there is repercussions you have to, answer. Like this guy, he got fired from say BBC and so many different shows because of his comments.
You see, we are not allowed to talk about many of these things as a Ofcom broadcaster.
Okay.
So you get rulings. So the freedom of speech is no longer exist. Parliament is same. You must have seen it recently. What it is, I think we're going to go into a very deep conversation. I personally think, for the time being, we just make dua to Allah. We don't need to spend much money. It's matter of time, matter of days now, or a month. Then it will come to a conclusion. I think the best thing happened is we all forgot about Palestine. The best thing happened is this time, don't want to make this statement, but I'll still say to you something because it's a very sensitive one. I'm upset what happened in Gaza, but I'm also very happy the whole world is talking about Palestine. What happened to these people? They meant to be providing security for the whole world, the Jerusalem. They sell their security device to the world. They watch what I'm doing in this room and they listen what I'm talking. So what happened to their security systems? What has happened? What happened to that security system? Almighty knew well. This is a starting. This is not an end. This is a beginning of a peace in Palestine. It might take 50 years. But I have a total different opinion than other people. I think this is the best thing happened. And we are all talking.
Do you think they realize the power of social media and did they miscalculate the power of social media and the support of people around the world?
Remember, there are a lot of people in favor of this and a lot of people are not in favor of this within the Jewish community. And not many Bengali people understand why we are hated. You have to go back to Quran. If you don't go back to Quran, you're not going to understand why they think we are lowlifes. And that is because our great-grandfather, Ibrahim alayhi salam, had two wives, Hajara. And where Hajara from? Egypt. And they're the chosen one, Sarah. Our one is the Ibrahim. Allah mentioned, after Yaqub alayhi salam, he mentioned that they're the Bani Israeli and we're the Bani Ismail. But they think that our blood chains are bad because it goes slaves or work. That's why they hate us. And for them, a cleansing go out for a and for us, it's deen. Allah khuisun. Anyway, we can talk about this whole day.
No, let's wrap it up. Mahee, I really...
You've got a lot of editing to do, brother.
We would love to keep some of the spice, but thank you so much for making this happen. I am super, 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 super happy that you have last remarks or any leaving thoughts for the young people that are watching us right now.
Look, you see, it's very important. Our community has progressed. We now go to Harvard, we go to Oxford, we go to Cambridge. But you and I don't talk enough about those one don't go anywhere. And that is something I want to start this year. I had a meeting that whoever don't go to the Oxford and Harvards, we don't do anything. Britain, after all these things, Britain is the best country in the planet. One of the best country in the planet. As a human right, to do business, you don't need much money to do business. But I want the youngsters to create business, create jobs, innovation ideas which gives jobs to other people, make enough money for yourself, so we become more stronger. Number is not a strong game. It's how much money you have and how much energy you have and how much brain you have. If you have the opportunity, go and study. finish your study. Don't give up. But if you don't have it, then don't waste 3 years and halfway give up. Go back to work, And in England, if you do a taxi driver, it's not a bad job. If you even go and clean a dustbin, it's not a bad job, because this is the society. Everybody have to work together. Anyway, thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Reed. I really, really appreciate. If someone really wants to pitch ideas to you, can they reach out to you?
Yeah, always. I always reply to my emails at info. Farhan replies on a phone calls. I manage my diary very well.
Amazing. Mahee, thank you so much for coming in. If you have enjoyed our episode of Side by Side, don't forget to share it with your family and friends and subscribe to the channel you're tuned into. Until then, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.